everybody. It's Jim. Making more videos because that's what we're doing these days. Box sets. I own a few box sets, not a huge amount, but I discovered when I started replacing records that one of the easier ways to replace things was to get box sets. So I was able to do that with a few things, and that made it pretty straightforward rather than trying to track down all the records individually. I went for box sets. I also like the packaging on them because they're another opportunity for doing different things with them. Some people take advantage of that, some people don't. It's unfortunate when box sets are really kind of generic. It's great when they get into more interesting approaches. So we'll just go through them. I'm gonna go in alphabetical order because that's how they're set up. And I'll start with We Are Beat Happening, which is the Beat Happening box set that just came out earlier this year. This collects, all 5 releases, and then there's a, so it's got, Beat Happening, Jamboree, Black Candy, Dreamy, You Turn Me On, and then Music to Climb the Apple Tree By, which is a release that came later on. And it's got a really nice booklet. And then, if you want to frame that or something, it's got that. But the booklet is actually pretty substantial. It goes into a lot of the background behind everything. Great pictures. It's, so I won't go into too much detail on each of these because that will take us forever. And I'm also not going to try and put things back together. Okay. So next is Jeff Buckley, the Grace EPs. So this is a collection that I didn't have on vinyl when the records originally came out. I had all of these EPs on CD. And this is a collection of singles. Peyote Radio Theater, So Real, Live from the Bataclan, the Grace EP, and Last Goodbye. And there are some amazing B-sides on this. Probably the best recordings of Hallelujah are on here. There's a few different ones, but the version from the Bataclan is really, really amazing. The flip sides, the B-sides at this time for Buckley were, I think, as good as the A-sides. I just never made a distinction. Next is another Buckley box, and that is Live at Cine, which is probably my favorite record. This came out posthumously. It was a recording he did at a small venue in New York, I believe. And it's just him and a guitar, basically. It's a coffee shop. And it's just amazing. If you haven't heard it, you really got to check it out, especially if you have any affinity for Jeff Buckley. It is, I think, his best recording. That's followed up by all 4 of the Kate Bush box sets, which was the easiest way to replace all of her records. That's number 1, which is remastered in vinyl. 1, which contains The Kick Inside, Lionheart, Never Forever, and The Dreaming. So these are the earliest records. And then that's followed by 2, which contains Hounds of Love, Central World, and The Red Shoes. And these are all released on Kate Bush's label Fish People. 3, which I just showed recently, which was Ariel, Director's Cut, and 50 Words for Snow. And then 4, which is really amazing. This is essentially 12-inch mixes and B-sides, and then covers that she did at different times. And this has got some truly astounding material from her. In addition to that, I have one more Kate Bush box, and that's the Before the Dawn, which is the live recording from, was it 2012? It may have been 2012. I think this was put out in 2016, but I thought that the concerts were 2012. Probably the only time that I've considered buying a ticket halfway around the world to see a show was that time, but I didn't end up doing that. Couldn't quite afford that. So I'll have to settle for this, which is a really nice recording. That's followed by Dead Can Dance, which is Dionysus, which is their latest release. This isn't really a box set so much as it is just kind of amazing packaging for the latest release on purple vinyl. Let's see if I can pull this out of here. It's a beautiful release. I don't think this is their best effort, but it is really nice packaging. It's not a bad record, it's just they've made better records in the past. And then there's, they include the CD and a booklet of images that are nice. Though I will say it felt like the images they used in here were kind of stock photos, and just didn't really have a sense that this was a package made specifically of photographs for this object. And so that wasn't as good, but that's an amazing image. Okay, so that is followed by the Devo box set. This is great because I think I had replaced one record, but this actually allowed me to replace all of them. So it has Are We Not Men, We Are Devo, Duty Now for the Future, Freedom of Choice, New Traditionalists, Oh No, It's Devo, and Shout. This came out, I think, on Record Store Day a couple years back, 2018 maybe. And each record is a different color vinyl. So, as you might imagine, yellow for Are We Not Men, and each of them are kind of color-coded with the release. I believe we go to, I know that Freedom of Choice is red, New Traditionalist is blue, Duty Now, I can't remember. I think that might be, one of them is kind of a potato color. And then next we have Egyptian Lover. This is 1983 to 1988. It's kind of the collected works of Egyptian Lover. It's a beautiful box set. Just kind of give you a sense of, and these are all black vinyl, which actually is really appropriate for the packaging. This is on Stone's Throw. And then there is a booklet included with it, which kind of it's actually really nice. So so there we go. I'll go. This is Flaming Lips Zaireeka. I talked about this in a previous video, but this is the 4-track version of Zaireeka, where it's each LP is a different set of instrumentation. So you basically, if you play them all together, it's the complete recording. If you play them all together at the same time, that's Flaming Lips doing something interesting, I think. Zaireeka. Lush. This is Origami, and this is their collected works. It's a nice box set collection that includes got all the little download cards in here. So, what do we got in here? Topolino, Love Life, Split, Spooky, and Gala. I think I showed these on the Vaughan Oliver video, so you can get a better view of them there. Then we have Portraits in Stereo by Henry Mancini. This was one of those, of course, thrift store finds. It's Peter Gunn, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Mr. Lucky Goes Latin, the Mancini Touch, and Charade. So movie soundtracks mostly. Great stuff. I love Henry Mancini. Followed by Sleep. This is live at Third Man Records. This is a vault edition, so I subscribed to that a few years ago, and so I have this here. Yeah. Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation. There aren't that many records that I would want to have a box set version of, you know, a kind of expanded. There's a ton of, you know, baby boomer records out there that are just built all around these insane, you know, $150, $200 box sets for one record. I don't really see the attraction to those until I see music that I love, like Sonic Youth's Daydream Nation. Then I get it. There's a good booklet about it, talking about the background. And then it's the record broken up in, I think, these 45 RPM. I don't remember, actually. It might be a 45 RPM pressing. I don't want to. By the way, I think that's a Gerhard Richter painting, if I remember right. Sure looks like one if it's not. Speaking of artists from the past, Robert Rauschenberg did the art for this, which is Speaking in Tongues from Talking Heads. This edition, let me see, I'm not going to open it up, but there's 3 different layers of plexi in here with different screen printed images, a lot like Rauschenberg's artwork. So there's some really cool effects that you get from that. The case yellows over time, but everybody's is yellowed because that's what happens with plastic. Then we've got a few Tolkien box sets. The Hobbit, read by Nicole Williamson. Just amazing voice. Nicole Williamson was Merlin in Excalibur, if you've seen the movie, and you know his voice. And this is him reading The Hobbit, and it's phenomenal. And then this, which was a thrift store find, which is the soundtrack. It's actually the entire soundtrack, including all of the acting and everything. So it's just the movie without the video of The Hobbit, the Rankin Bass production. So it's a really terrible movie, but I had to have it because it was goofy and it was a few dollars. This is Kurt Weill. This is the Threepenny Opera, I guess is how you're supposed to pronounce it. Threepenny Opera. Great. I love Kurt Weill. I love the new Kurt Weill as well, but the old one, I like him too. This is White Stripes. The first record has a box set, another Vault edition, the 20th anniversary edition, which is really beautiful. Oh, there goes a card. And, okay. Yeah. Trying to take this apart. Okay. So it has this booklet to go along with it and a CD. I actually haven't opened this booklet yet. So I'm just discovering this right now for the first time. I don't know if it's a CD or a DVD. Must be a CD. But the booklet ephemera, photos from that early phase when they were just little children. And then the, gotta be careful about how I hold this. And then the actual release on both red and white vinyl. This is a really nice edition. And my guess is they're just going to keep re-releasing all of the White Stripes records on a 20-year cycle because I believe that, I can't remember which one was the second, Elephant or Der Stiel. Whichever it is, I think is the next Vault package. So it just seems like they're releasing them 20 years on, which I'm fine with because they're beautiful editions. And then finally, we have Amy Winehouse, The Collection, which is for a woman who released really 2 records in her life. This is a large box set. And we've got Frank. Pull these out of here. So Frank, Back to Black, Lioness, which is unreleased material. Live in London, and Rarities. And then there's a kind of, this. And then there's photos. So I am a big fan of Amy Winehouse and was very glad to be able to get a lot of this material that you, as far as I know, you don't have access to except through the box set. And that's everything. So, yeah. Box sets. Take care, everybody.